So as you can see here, I've already opened Photoshop to save a little bit of time of like it opening up and you watching me do that. So for the moment, I'm going to create new, and you get a lot of options up here for save, photo, print, art, illustration. We're using film and video, and because this footage is 1920 by 1080, I'm just going to double click that and leave the resolution at 72 ppi for the moment. And we get this little window here, which is interesting because it's showing us title safe areas, which are these lines here. We have a look at the rulers. We can add our own little guides in there as well, but I'm not that concerned with that at the moment. This inner box is the one that we want to be interested in at the moment. So what I want to do is open that little logo there. So if I click on Paul, and this is in my GFX folder that I've just created, and I want to save it as a PNG because that's a portable network graphic, so it should be vectorized. And we can do all kinds of things to make this a vector if it's a JPEG or something, which I do believe it is originally. So I'm going to open that, and it opens in another little tab here. So the first thing I'm going to do is arrange my workspace to tile all vertically, and then get my select tool, which is this one over here, or you can click V. Oh, I've got the tooltips on, didn't know I'd done that. And then pick it up and pop it in there. So then we can go ahead and close this one. We don't need to save that. So because I've got snap on here, we can see we get these snap guides to center and horizontal. But I am going to move this up a little bit, and I want to transform this and make it a little bit larger. So you could go, you could edit the image using the the image menu there by flipping it and doing other things, but you can also transform the image, which is, where have we gone? I just had it then. Transform, which is in edit, you'd imagine. So you can transform the scale here via using a menu, but I just prefer to use Command and T or Control and T on a keyboard, and you can pick up the corner. Because this is a PNG, in this version of Photoshop it will automatically scale, and then you can remove it around. Now I'm going to put it slightly off up there, and then I'm going to hit enter or return depending which platform you're using. And we can see we've got a white background here, so I want to use this as a title screen. So I'm going to just double click the background there to turn that lock off, just cancel that. And I'm going to go to my pipette here, this little tool. It's kind of quite handy. And if I click on this purple area there, right, you can see that if I double click that now, that particular purple has a red, green and blue value here. So you might want to write those down, but you can also just copy this hexadecimal code here. For this purpose, we're just going to use that. But if you want to keep it in RGB space, then these values are very important moving across. So I'm going to click OK. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select my paint bucket. Now, the annoying thing with Photoshop is that the tools, if you have to hold down and click on them to get the other tool. So with a paint bucket there, you have to click on the gradient tool, which I'll just zoom in there for you. Click on the gradient tool and hold it down, and then select paint bucket. And what I'm going to do is I've got the layer selected, so I've not labeled these, which is very lazy. So with layer 1, I'll just double click that, and I'm going to put BG in there. And on layer 2, I'm going to double click that and type in logo Paul for now. Select the background. In Photoshop, you know your background selected because it goes slightly lighter grey. And because I've got the paint bucket tool selected on the background, I'm going to do that. And wow, we have a title screen. So we can use that at the beginning of a program or the end of a program, or in some other way that you see fit. And it's nicely centered as well. Remember, if you've got a tool selected, that you have to, if you want to move it again, you have to pick it up, and I'm going to turn those tooltips off in a minute because they're annoying me, and then move it up. I'm thinking I quite like that a bit bigger, so I'm going to go back to edit and then transform, scale again, and I'm going to pick it up and then make it a little bit bigger, so I'm quite liking it slightly bigger, slightly not on the horizontal. I kind of like it a little bit up like that. Then press enter to enter the transformation, and I'm going to save the Photoshop file. Now I'm just going to go Command and S or Control S on, so you can save it to your cloud or save it to your computer or whether you want. And I've already got this folder selected, so I'm just going to call that Paul Slate for the moment, and then save that and maximize your compatibility. Okay, we're going to see how we can use this in Premiere a little bit later on, and also how we can use this, what we have at the moment, to make a lower third, like we're going to crop it and those kinds of things. So I told you I was going to keep the tutorials short, but don't forget you can actually rewind them and then play them again or pause them as well, so you can catch up. So all good.